Mortlock co-founded MCG and is their resident tax depreciation guru. He's made a name for himself working with companies such as McDonald's, CMG Markets and Hilton Hotels. He has completed thousands of depreciation schedules for commercial and residential property and is in demand as a public speaker and property commentator. He is featured in Australian Property Investor, Smart Property Investor, Property Observer, Sky Business and more. In the office, he's considered a jocular messy desk chap. Outside of work, Mike is an elite amateur triathlete, having represented Australia. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
To begin, could you tell us a little bit about your career path?
It's a bit of a funny one. I guess when I was a teenager, I thought I was going to be a fighter pilot, and now I'm a quantity surveyor. So the similarities are, I'm going to say they're endless. There are no similarities, right? So really, once I realised that wasn't going to work because I had medical issues that precluded me, I was interested in property. So I took an extra year to do the HSC. So then I ended up just doing a real estate certificate. Realised that as an introvert, I'd picked the wrong career, and was interested in property and the economic side of things. So I moved over to valuation, and then I guess I got to the point where I needed a job. Got a job with a quantity surveying firm and thought I would move over my credits into the construction management degree, and that's kind of, I guess, where I got into quantity surveying, and all these years later starting my own business around 2011. So yeah, not exactly direct path, but here I am.
Mike, what motivates and drives you?
I guess right now at the moment, as a business, we're trying to get on the BRW Fast 100 list. So that right now at this point in time is our sort of sole focus. I guess on top of that, personally, it was important to me when we started the business that we became, I guess, a place to provide a rewarding place for employees. So it's important to us that we have an organisation with a great culture that rewards people that buy into our vision and our dream. And it's important to us to understand that their life sort of begins when they leave at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock, heaven forbid, if there's overtime because of a project or something like that. So it's really important to me that that's the sort of culture that we're building. And yeah, I guess at the end of the day, a nice place for people to work and come together with our common vision.
What do you believe has shaped your leadership style?
I guess it's a funny one. It's a combination of my parents, I think, to some degree. I had basically a salesman and a psychologist, so I've got a kind of a good mix there. A bit of sort of imitation. I mean, we've all sort of had people, whether they be family members or business sort of bosses, that we look at and we think, here's something that I might take from them or something that can work for me. Always been interested in Greek philosophy, so I like the sort of the Socratic idea of, teasing something apart. So I guess it's also, a bit of trial and error as well. I think it's important that it works for your sort of personality rather than say I'm going to take this approach, and just kind of what gets the results. So a mixture of all those things, I guess.
What's one action or task you ensure you incorporate into your diary each week?
At the moment it's run club, so on a Friday morning I go for a run with our business development guy. It's open to the whole team, he's the only one that's interested at the moment. I think there is a really big correlation between sort of health and fitness and business performance. Outside of that, it's really a business health check, so I like to see how are our survey responses, so I've got my finger on the pulse if there's any issues there, and a financial sort of health check as well. We're very sort of open with our company's goals, with turnover and profitability and that sort of thing, and we share that with the team. So if we're all sort of looking at that on a weekly basis, it just keeps us sort of pointed in the right direction and make sure we all know where we're heading, and highlights any sort of alarm bells of what we need to do to make sure that we're on track.
And to finish today, Mike, what local business person do you find inspiring?
I guess Steph from GrowthWise has been a mentor of mine for a number of years, and there's probably a number of people. Marie from Camera Plus Dog happens to be a sister of mine. She's got that crazy, boundless entrepreneurial spirit. Anna from Doughheads as well. We were kind of peers with a mentoring program, and I guess got to the point where we're sort of saying, Anna, like, you can do this, go out and do it. And she's built a huge business and a great following. So really inspired by people who sometimes just chuck in that cushy job, or they have an idea and they throw it and see if it sticks. And I think that's fantastic and something I really admire.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.